ways to have fun, relax, and enjoy life the natural way or the way our ancestors did. So we have Qigong going on. We just had a talk from Michael, who's a yoga instructor. We have cake designing over here in our heritage tent, box cards for the kids. A little later, we'll have some art back here, and we have all-day vegetarian food in the sensory garden. To signify the opening of the event again, we'll have our minister, Nalita Butterfield, say a few words, and then she'll plant the tree. We'll have some ceremonial dancers, the native dancers, do a ceremonial dance to sort of bless the day and bless the land. And then we're all free to disperse and continue enjoying in the festivities. But I just want to say thank you everyone for coming out, and I hope everyone's able to take a lesson from today or learn a lesson from today and go home and incorporate it into your lifestyle a bit more. But thank you, and thank you for participating in these Heritage Month events. So I'm just going to hand the mic over to Minister Butterfield, and she'll be assisted by Omari Dill of Unity Edible Landscaping, and we'll start the tree planting ceremony. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Minister.
Thank you so much. Let's give a round of applause to Kashanda for a job well done. It's so nice to be here in the open air. I remember when I was the Minister for Open Space, Cyberspace, and Outer Space, so it's nice to even be back home on these wonderful grounds of the Botanical Gardens. I know I have a script, and I really don't wish to read the script, and the reason why is because Friday, while in the House of Parliament, someone left a message on a "while you are out" pad, and that message was from Dikemo Martin. And I needed to be in church this morning because Dikemo was murdered over the weekend, and I've been asking myself if I had talked to him, would it have made a difference? But I do wear another hat, and that's to help young black males to get their high school diplomas, and I know that was one thing that Kemo, as I know him by, was seeking. So today, while in church, I sent a prayer for his soul and also for his parents and loved ones. But we are family. So today we are gathered here, and you remember our motto is green yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So all the wonderful things that you are going to do this afternoon, I'm very excited, I'm happy, and also want to thank the Department of Community and Cultural Affairs for the wonderful creative way of doing something. So I want to give Ms. Helen Whelan, Louise Tannick, and their team a round of applause. Thank you so much. I want to also say something about Omari Dill. When I was also the Minister of the Environment, I had the pleasure of taking him to Jamaica, to the Denby show, and I believe you loved that very much, and the different ideas that we can bring back, but I'm sure he was encouraged, so I congratulate him for even starting his own business and being here to help me to plant this tree. I don't want to forget the Parks Department, those that have helped you to come in and help you to park, Lisa Johnston and her wonderful team who find ideas to use these beautiful gardens. You've got to use them all year round. There's so many different things that you could do here. We just shouldn't come back during the annual exhibition. These gardens should be used all year round, so we have to come outside of the box. Now, it's a cardboard box, so you could fold it and come outside of it and do some creative things. I'm also glad to see our in-residence poet. I believe I say Hippolyte, but I've heard somebody else saying Hippo something. Hippolyte, and I say Hippolyte. So you know how our names can be changed. I know mine's all right, Butter and Field, which hails from Turks and Caicos, so I know my name is straight. So thank you for joining us, and just raise your hand so everyone could know. And very good. I've listened to him and enjoyed myself with what he had to recite to us. I also noticed the friends from St. David's. Give your thank you. I'm so sorry I can't spend much time with you, as Ms. Whalen knows that I've been sick for 2 weeks, and I've been trying to come out during my illness, but I really need to get some rest so I could get out and meet my new acting PS. Please wave your hand. We have a new acting PS, Ms. Valerie Robinson James, who will be joining the team of the Ministry of Culture and Social Rehabilitation first thing tomorrow morning, but it looks like she's joined us already, so we're off to a good start. I like that. Thank you so much. Enjoy yourselves. It's a wonderful day. Don't worry about the clouds. They held back on May 24th, and they'll sure hold back on May the 30th for you to enjoy yourselves. Thank you so much, and now to the tree planting.
Should have been a bigger shovel. Okay, you can let her do the whole thing, are you, Brett? No, no. That's it. Here we go. Thank you. Yeah. Again. Thank you. Good. You're welcome.
That's probably an inside joke. Applying suntan lotion. Good idea. Yeah. How's everybody this afternoon? Good? Yeah. Okay, for those of you who haven't met me before, my name is Michael, and we're going to go through a gentle practice this afternoon. The ground isn't that level. The sun is coming out, so we don't really want to be exerting ourselves too much, and certainly don't want to be injuring ourselves in any way. So as we go through, and you may find some of the poses are a little challenging for you, then I'm going to ask you just to kind of, take the easiest route out, which may be to rest or to modify the pose if you know how. It's an important part of the practice is about honoring the sensations that you feel in the body. It's about honoring how you're energetically feeling today as well. So we're not going to be working too hard, but I would like to kind of get us into a place where we can start to feel the depth of the practice. Is anybody new to yoga here? Okay, good. Kind of. Done a little bit of yoga before? Yeah. Hi, how you doing? Join us. Yeah. So, for those of you that are new, I'm going to be kind of talking, using, hi, how you doing? I'm going to be using a few names of the postures that you may not be familiar with. And if you get lost, I will try and demo as much as I can at the front here, but when you've got your head down, sometimes you won't always see me. So, have a look around. People around you do know what they're doing, have been doing it for a while. So maybe they can offer you some insight into the pose that you're going to be going into. Just a general introduction to kind of the goal of what we're trying to do in the practice of yoga. Does anybody know what the word yoga means? Anybody except Mandy? Yeah. What is coming together? Great. There we go. Perfect. Good. So yoga literally translated means union, or from the literal translation, which means yoking or bringing together. And so what we're looking to try and strive to create as we go into a practice is exactly as the lady says here, a balance between mind, body, and breath. And we're trying to bring these things together in alignment so that we can practice integration, harmony, balance. And so one of the things that we want to convey, and often people ask me, the biggest question I get asked is, how does yoga change my life? How does yoga change the way I feel? Yoga is a way of us going introspectively to look at how perhaps we feel imbalanced. Peace begins with us. Yeah? If we're looking to create change or peace in the world, then we have to start with how we feel on the inside. If we feel trauma, emotional imbalance, all those things, then we can't promote peace around us. It's just not possible. So really what we're looking to do is try and strike a balance between the mind, body, and breath to bring more harmony to the body so that we can evoke or give a sense of peace. Okay? As we go through the practice, maybe questions may come up for you. Please feel free to raise your hand. If something is not clear, raise your hand, and I can come around and assist you if you need to. For those who have a little bit more experience, I know we have a few people here who have a little bit more experience. By all means, just allow yourself to be a bit of a guide for somebody who's next to you, maybe. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you to come first of all to a comfortable sitting position. Go ahead and close your eyes. And straighten the back. So we take these first few moments of our practice really just to center ourselves, bring ourselves into a place of stillness. Much as we're allowing the body to relax and the body to soften, try to also allow the contents of your mind to slow down. You can visualize wheels turning or cogs turning, and just visualize those wheels slowing down. Consciously engage your mind in your breath. Just following the natural path of your breath. The air passing in through the nostrils and out through the nostrils. And see if you're able to consciously slow your breath down. Make the breath a little easier, calmer. And as you slow the breath down, see if you're able to begin lengthening the breath. See how long you can take to inhale. See how long you can take to exhale. As we go through the poses this afternoon, I'll ask you to maintain this sense of breath in your body. Even when the pose becomes challenging for you, I remind you to return back to this breath, this sense of breath that you have. From this sitting position, just slowly begin to open your eyes. And then make your way forward onto your hands and knees. Make sure that your hands are the same width as your shoulders, the knees the same width as your hips. I'm just going to start just with a couple of warming up exercises just to help us begin to open and soften the body. Repeat this again. Inhaling, look to the sky. Let the tailbone stick up. And then as you exhale, lower the head and round the spine as you look towards your belly button. And continue that movement in your own time. Just following the breath. Just keeping a sense of ease. Let your body feel light. Pausing to the center, Just gently sit back onto your heels and then bring the forehead down towards the floor. You can rest your arms wherever they feel comfortable, wherever you need the support. And don't worry if you don't sit all the way back onto your heels. As we rest in this pose known as child pose. Just notice those muscles in your body that are offering you resistance or tension, anything that feels uncomfortable. See at this time if you're able to let go of some of that tension. Go back to the sensation of your breath, the slow, steady breath through the nostrils. And gradually make your way back forward onto all fours once again into a table position. Slightly more challenging posture now, known as downward facing dog. I'll ask you to tuck your toes under, so the toes are resting onto the mat. And then gently begin to lift your knees from the mat to straighten the legs. So you're going to feel weight pressing into the hands. And then go ahead and gently bend the knees back down to the mat once again. And just repeat that up and down motion 3 or 4 times. Exhaling as you lift the knees. Inhale as you bend the knees back down to touch the mat. As you come up on the next round, as you lift your knees, keep the legs lifted now. Gently press your heels down into the mat. So come up and stay up. And then just slowly begin to walk the heels up and down, bending one knee, then the other. Just alternating, placing the emphasis upon the straight leg. And then straighten both legs once again. Sink the heels just a little deeper if you can. Send your hips just another ½ an inch towards the sky. And then relax. Lower the knees back down to the mat. And sit back onto your heels. Rest in child pose. Notice as you return to child pose here, there's a different sense of your body as you feel a little bit lighter. A little easier. And from child pose, return back to all fours onto your hands and knees once again. And from this table position, just step your right foot forward towards your hands. So the foot is all the way forward. If it doesn't quite get there on the first attempt, you can take hold of the ankle and carry the foot forward. And then from there, slowly bring your hands up onto your right knee. As you press the hips forward, and just allow the front of the hip on the left side to gently stretch. If you have your balance, go ahead and raise your arms up overhead. Consciously breathe through the nose. Slow your breath. Deepen your breath. Feel you have fairly good balance here, close your eyes and see if that changes the experience of the pose for you. Slowly return the hands back down to the mat. Step the right leg back into table position. Tuck your toes under once again and gently press back into downward facing dog. Lifting the knees, straightening the legs. Breathing into the hips and the back. Last breath here. And return back to table position. From table, we're going to step that left foot forward between the hands. If you find it difficult to step your foot forward, you can do a little trick. If you think of a dog lifting its leg, take the leg out to the side, then carry it forward. That's probably a little bit easier for you to get the foot forward. And then from there, bring both hands up onto your right knee. If you find that your lunge is taking your knee further forward than your toes, just back off a little bit so that your knee is over your ankle. Helps to be a little bit more stable in the pose. And then go ahead and raise your arms up overhead. Gently stretching. Lift your eyes up towards the sky. Breathe into the stretch. Again, if you have your balance, try closing your eyes, see what happens. Some of you may notice as the posture starts to intensify, you'll also find yourself holding your breath. See if you can soften that breath, keep the movement of the breath going through the nose. One last breath here. And slowly placing the hands back down to the mat once again. Stepping that left leg back into a table position. And then from table, I'm going to ask whichever way you feel comfortable in doing this, I'd like you to come down to lie flat onto your belly. So you can either lower yourself down, or you can kind of wiggle down, elbows, hips, and then chest, whichever way you feel comfortable coming down. Then place your hands just by your shoulders, the elbows lifted. We come up into a pose called Cobra, just allowing the head and shoulders to lift up. Now, start with a baby Cobra here. What I mean by that is that as you go to lift, you should be able to hold your body in position without your hands assisting you. So keep the head and shoulders where they are. And just lift your hands an inch or so off of the mat and see if you can keep the head and shoulders lifted. Now breathe into your belly. Slowly return the hands down. Lower the head and shoulders down. And again, whichever way you can at this stage, press back up onto your hands and knees. Tuck your toes under once again and press back into downward facing dog. Lift the knees to straighten the legs. Breathe into the sensation of the stretch. From downward dog, please begin walking your feet forward towards your hands. You can bend your knees. Come as far forward on the mat as you feel you can. And then with the knees bent, the feet slightly apart, just hang forward over your thighs. Cross your arms. Take hold of the elbows. Let the head hang. And just slowly begin to sway from side to side. pausing in the center, let your arms hang down. Gradually begin rolling up through the back to an upright standing position. And once in standing, just close your eyes. Bring the hands together in heart center, just in front of the chest. The palms pressing together. In yoga, we refer to this as Anjali Mudra, which is simply a gesture with the hands of surrender. We often use it in prayer, in Christian terms, but in yoga it is simply a sign of surrendering. So let's come stand with the feet together, the toes touching the heels slightly apart. So if you look down at your toes, your feet will be slightly pigeon-toed. And then from here, inhale the arms down. Take the arms out to the side and reach all the way up to the sky. Invite just a very gentle back bend. Lift your eyes to look towards your hands. And then return the hands back together down in front of the heart. And again, inhaling the arms out and up. Breathe in all the way to the top. And then exhaling the hands down to prayer position. And continue this movement in your own time, just following your breath. Inhale as you reach up. And exhale as you come down. It's a nice gradual flowing movement. Next round, inhale the arms up overhead and hold the arms overhead. I ask you to interlace your fingers and then extend just the index finger towards the ceiling. Pressing the tops of the arms in towards your ears and gently side bend over to your right. Breathe into the stretch. Slow your breath down. If you find that you're holding your breath or that you're breathing harder, then you're probably holding the pose too tensely. Back out of the stretch a little bit, and then allow the breath to be fuller in the body. The movement of the ribs, the movement of the belly. Gradually make your way back to center, and then up and over to the opposite side. One last breath here. Make your way back to center. Pause there for a moment. And return the hands back down in front of the heart. Step your feet just a little bit wider than hip width. You can go as wide as the mat if you wish. And then bring the hands around just to rest around the back of the pelvis, just where your leg and your buttock meet, the crease of the buttock there. Go ahead and slowly begin to lean forward, and as you do, press your sits bones, the bones you sit on, reach them back in towards your fingertips as you lean forward. And then slowly making your way back to an upright position. And again, slowly lean forward, reaching the sits bones back, lifting the chest up. The idea here is to help you to keep the spine flat as you lean forward. The goal is not to drop the head or to round the back, but to try and lift where your fingers are touching as you lean forward. Repeat this 3 or 4 more times. You should feel a fairly obvious stretch in the back of the leg as you lean forward. We're trying to avoid is overly straining the lower back in any way. Forward. Okay. So in the next round, come forward to a position that feels comfortable for you. And stay in that forward position with the sits bones lifted. Just gently stretch through the back of the leg. And as you hold the pose, continue to lengthen the front of the body. We forget sometimes that we're trying to stretch all sides of the body at all times. So although we feel the back of the legs active, continue to stretch through the front of the body, lift the chest. From this position, inhale, look forward towards me at the front of the classroom here. Stretch up through the chest. And then as you exhale, try to deepen your forward fold by lifting your tailbone another half an inch. Take your arms back out wide to the side. And reverse swan dive. Make your way back to upright. Gentle back bend. Inhale. And exhale, return the hands to prayer position. We'll do the same sequence again. Inhale the arms out and up. Gentle back bend. Exhale, swan dive, forward and down. Keep that nice long flat back as you bow forward from the hips. Rest your hands wherever they fall comfortably. Then inhale, look forward, flattening the back. Exhale, deepen your fold just a little bit further, not by dropping the head, but by lifting the tailbone. Take the arms out wide once again. Reverse swan dive, come all the way back to upright. Gentle back bend, and return the hands to prayer position. See how much of that you can remember. Go ahead and do 2 or 3 rounds in your own time. If you get lost, make it up. If you need to, stop, have a look around. But try to commit this movement to memory. With each movement, there's a breath, either an inhalation or an exhalation that goes with the movement. Completing one more round. Let the breath just work through you. Cue your movement with each breath, whether it be an inhalation or an exhalation. The end of the next round, coming all the way up and staying upright. And then from there, bringing the hands back to prayer position down in front of the heart. Let's take the right leg and step it back about a leg's length. Have a quick look down at your feet to see how wide your feet are apart. We generally don't go wide enough with the feet, so take that back foot and just heel toe it back a little further. Then we'll take the arms out wide, so the left arm reaches towards the top of your mat, the right arm reaches towards the back of your mat. So the hips and shoulders are facing to the side. Slowly begin to lean over the left leg. Reach towards the top edge of your mat, stretching out through the waist. If you're not feeling it already, you should be beginning to feel a stretch in the inner thigh of your left leg. Now bring that left hand just down to rest to the inside of your left knee, your calf, or your ankle, wherever you can comfortably. Now turn to look past your right shoulder and gently reach up to the sky through that right hand. And breathe into the sensation of the stretch. One last breath in this position. We call this pose triangle pose. And then gradually make your way back up to center. Let's bring the hands together in prayer position and step the feet together once again at the top edge of your mat. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, half sun salutation. Exhale, swan dive forward and down. Inhale, look forward with a flat back. Exhale, deepen your forward fold. Reverse swan dive, coming all the way up. Gentle back bend. And return the hands to prayer position. Take the left leg back and we'll do triangle pose on the opposite side. And taking the right arm forward towards the right top edge of the mat, left arm towards the back. Good. Just make sure that your front foot is facing forward so the right foot is rotated out, the toes towards the top of the mat. And then slowly begin leaning forward over that right leg. Try and keep the sides of the waist long as you lean over. And gradually make your way down with that hand to the inside of the knee, the ankle, or the foot. And gently turn to look at your left shoulder and then towards your left hand. If that's too much on your neck, then just allow your head to turn to look downwards. And breathe. The difference between gymnastics and yoga is the breath. It's what makes the physical pursuit the introspective pursuit. Just 2 more breaths here. And slowly make your way back to center. Bring the hands to prayer position. And step your feet together once again at the top edge of the mat. Have a quick look down at your feet. Let's bring the toes to touch, the heels slightly apart. Inhale the arms up overhead. We're going to bend the knees and come down into a pose called chair pose. So keep reaching the arms up, squeezing the knees together, sink down in towards the hips. One of those poses that you love to hate over time. Yeah, you're already there, huh? Yeah. Breathe into the strength of the pose. One last breath here, and then straighten all the way up. Gentle back bend. Return the hands to prayer position. I'm going to ask you to take half a step back to the center of your mat. We're going to have a go at just a couple of standing balancing poses. We're already on a slant here, so it's going to be interesting, but try your best. So let's begin just by lifting the right heel, and then go ahead and bring the right knee up in towards your chest. Place your hands on the back of your thigh or around your knee if that's possible. Find yourself coming out of the pose, just lower the foot, come back into it once you can. Let's just do another 30 seconds in this position. Seconds can seem like a long time when you're holding something like this. And go ahead and return your foot back down to the floor. Just shake the legs out for a moment. So we often use standing balancing poses in yoga to help us create a sense of grounding in our body. If you're kind of having one of those days where everything feels like it's on top of you and you have little control over what's going on around you, try just standing on one foot. Yeah? The expression I heard recently was the trees that live in the windiest places have the deepest roots. Yeah? And so if you find your life is kind of lots going on, yeah, create more grounding. Yeah? So the standing poses are very much designed to do that. Yeah? Let's go ahead and bring the opposite knee up. Again, if you can't hold on to your leg, just hold on to your pant leg or something like that. Or place the hands around the back of the thigh or around the knee. If you can, let the full weight of your leg just rest into your hands, so that your arms do the lifting. Let your leg feel very passive. And return the foot back down to the floor. Just shake the legs out. I'm going to ask you to partner up with somebody now, preferably somebody of a similar height. Ask this gentleman to come towards me. I'm going to use you as my partner. If we have any odd ones out, then we'll swap over. Look at that, perfect, great. Okay, so if you can come and stand in front of your partner. If you don't know who your partner's name is, then just introduce yourself, Michael. Cornelius? Pleased to meet you. Pleased to meet you. So we're going to do an assisted yoga pose here. Now, some of you may not be able to go down fully, and this is why we're using the partner to help us with this, and it's going to be an assisted squatting position. So, Cornelius, yep, and myself are going to demonstrate first of all. Take hold of my wrists, good, like that. Straighten your arms out. Okay, and we're going to step the feet about hip width apart. Okay. Now, very slowly, we're going to start to lean back from one another and gradually begin to bend our knees. Sink down into the squatting position. Lean back away from me. That's it. Yeah, you can pull on me a little bit. There you go. Now drop your hips down. That's it. We're going to stay in this position if we can. Now, the idea of having the person in front of you is that you can lean back away from one another so you can drop your hips down more easily. So for those of you that are already down, just slowly begin to move from side to side. So Barry, maybe go back a little bit further from Pam, yeah, just a little bit further, that's it. And then pull on her gently. Pull on her gently. That's it. Don't worry if you can't get all the way down. Good. And then just pause in the center. Just close your eyes. Take a few long, deep, full breaths. The easy bit was going down because gravity was working with us. Now, very slowly, again, lean back away from your partner and both straighten your legs at the same time to come up. Good. And once you're up, if you get up, just thank your partner. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. And just return back to your individual mats. Good. Going down was easy, right? Getting up's tricky. Yeah. Even with Barry trying to lift you. Yeah. Good. So I'm going to ask you all now just to come to a sitting position in the center of your mat. So go ahead and straighten both legs out in front of you to begin. Sit nice and tall in your spine. Extend your arms up towards the ceiling. Interlace the fingers and press your palms upwards. Stretch up through the waist. And slowly begin to bow forward over the legs. Reach down and take hold of your toes, your ankles, your calves, your knees, wherever you can take hold of the legs comfortably. Breathe into your back. Go ahead and just slow the breath down. Couple more breaths here. Slowly begin sitting all the way back up. Bring both knees up in towards your chest. Give the knees a little bit of a hug towards you. Bring the soles of the feet together. Turn your knees out to the sides. Come into a pose we call butterfly pose. Take hold of the ankles or the outside edges of your feet. Lift the chest. And then just slowly begin to bow forward as you bring your forehead down towards your feet. Try to relax into the pose rather than create tension. We want to feel that we're letting go of the body rather than trying to engage it more. Take 5 more breaths in this position. Very slowly begin to sit all the way up. Straighten the legs out in front of you. Please come to a lying position down on your back. As you lie on your back, gently bring the right knee in towards your chest. straighten the right leg up towards the ceiling. Move the hands just to the back of your thigh. Pressing the heel upwards. Slow your breath. Deepen the breath. If you find that you're unable to hold on to the back of the leg, bend your left knee slightly. Breaths in this position. Release the leg all the way down. Then bring the left knee up in towards your chest. Breathe into the weight of the leg. Stretching the leg up towards the ceiling, the hands just resting towards the back of your thigh. Slowing the breath, deepening the breath. Again, bend the right knee if you need a little bit of assistance. You need to soften the stretch in some way. These last two breaths here. Gradually bending the knee. Release the leg back down to the mat. Go ahead and draw both knees up in towards your chest. Just gently rocking from side to side. Resting your feet flat down onto the mat. Bring your heels as close to your sits bones as you can. Gently pressing into the feet. Allow the hips to come up off of the mat as we come up into bridge pose. Once the hips are lifted, see if you're able to walk the shoulder blades together underneath you. The feeling of opening the chest. So in as much as your legs are pressing your hips up, use your arms to help lift your chest just that little bit further. Breathe. Press the hands down into the floor. Last breath here. Gradually releasing, slowly come all the way down. Once again, draw the knees in towards your chest. Give the knees a hug. Take your arms out wide to the side. Then lower both knees over to your right hand side, just gently twisting through the waist. Take a few breaths here. gradually bring the knees up and over to the opposite side. Consciously slowing the breath. Gradually making your way to center, stretching the legs out. Take a few minutes here just in silent meditation, in deep relaxation. Just lower the legs down to the mat and relax. Go ahead and just gently stretch your arms up overhead. Point your toes, reach the fingers. And then draw your knees up in towards your chest once again. Gently roll to your side and just rest on your side for a moment. Take a few breaths. And then make your way back to a comfortable sitting position once again with the legs crossed. So close your eyes, straighten your back. Notice, observe any changes you may feel in your state of well-being. And we'll close our practice this afternoon by bringing our voices together in the sound of Om 3 times. If you're not familiar with chanting the sound of Om, then please just sit, listen, join in if you wish. Bring the hands together in prayer position, inhaling together. finish by bowing our heads forward, just acknowledging the practice and the work that we've done today. We finish by saying the word namaste. Thank you. Namaste. Thank you.
Like, hey, you grew. Hey, I knew you was getting further than everybody.
Okay, but before we go into that, we have a position that we call Wuji. Shoulder width. Here, legs are bent, like that. Depending on how far, I'm just going to go lay down like this. I'm sit. You want to sit here for, I can sit like this for an hour. So don't follow me. So your hands over the thighs, and like you have a small egg underneath your arm. So it's not like this. You want to have your feet straight if you can. Unless something's wrong with your leg, you broke your leg and your feet tend to go out like that, like this one here. Okay? So you want to be like this. It's called Wuji, the peaceful pose. Okay, you want to have your tongue on your gum line, upper gum line behind your front teeth. Okay, the resting there. You want to have eyes closed and relaxing. This is one thing I need to address. Most people breathe wrong. When they breathe in, it's from here, go down here. So most people breathe from their chest. Okay, if most people breathe from their chest, then we have a hand side. As some policemen out there, I said I wouldn't put a gun in you guys' hand. They're all breathing from the chest. 2 policemen breathing from the chest. You're not. You want to go back and breathe on. Right? Martial artists know that, right? What do people do?
The list. If I knew how to, if I had more time, if I had more space, or if I had space at all, if government housing would allow it, if I had someone to start it with me,
That means hats off to you. Okay.
if I had more space, somebody who had some space but not enough. Many people said if I had a green thumb. Someone said if I had money, if I had the materials. And the last one person said, if weeds did not overtake the garden. And so I thought, well, the reason for doing this was to connect with people, find out what is the barrier. What I found is there was only one person of all the people that I gave this note to, there was only one person who said, I would not have a garden. Isn't that surprising? Because we go around with the misconception that Bermudians are not interested in gardening. I want to dispel that fallacy because I believe that Bermudians do want to garden, but there are some barriers that they may have to overcome.
And he loves the work.
It's a tadpole, then it's gonna die.
So, look, everything there was just going to replace them, so I said, well, that would be okay. This is the bottom from here. I took 3 tables. The car don't hold the front.
Yeah, that was yours.
The wheels are from down, from out of the roof. And all this is on pallets. And it's going to split the wood.
Oh, that's your
You know, it was a few days, you know, it's put in about 7, 8 days getting this up ready.
That's amazing. That's a good
2x4s from down there.
Right, right.
When we were building the Bermuda steel pan float out, Bermuda folders, it was some lovely 4x4s came in.
So you use some of those for this?
No. I wish I knew someone that was going to put them top on a pit. Out of town, just get those 4x4s for your beams. It's surprising what goes down to that dump. I tell you what else I got down, but then I went to build the steel pan float and burnt my soul out. I got all of this red wood and I about 50 pounds of it.
Wow. Nice idea. Nice idea. Yeah. Good, Mr. Bird.
That's why I do them in comments. No, not for buying the wood. It says my what? Green, yesterday, today, tomorrow, and in time to come. In time to come.
That's right. Okay, good, sir.
బాబానము కేవలము బాబానము కేవలము బాబానము కేవలము బాబానా కేవలం బాబానా కేవలం బాబా నాము కేవలము బాబా నము కేవలం బాబా నము కేవలం బాబా నాము కేవలము బాబా నము కేవలం బాబా నము కేవలం బాబా నాము కేవలము బాబా నము కేవలం బాబా నము కేవలం
Yes, because you're. Who cares? Who cares? Okay. How do you?
Circle. Go to go, move it back to the right. Up. And step back. Go along with it. Next move. From here, you're going to twist. Twist the outside, twist it over. Circle up, dodge pull, transfer stance. Into brush knee palm strike.
What you're about to see is the women's Eastern traditional dance. This dance requires enormous grace, stamina, and concentration. Women move their feet in time with the drum while keeping their feet close to the ground. During honor beats, women raise their fans to honor drums and relative men. The women hold a blanket with fringes called a shawl over their left arm.
Gizuk, Creator, we thank you for your precious gifts of voice and song. You've made us Mi'kmaq, the people of the dawn. With pride and honor, we accept these gifts and responsibilities that you have given us.
What you're about to see is the Eastern Blanket Dance. This dance originated in the East Coast, particularly by the Narragansett tribe located in Rhode Island. Beautiful blankets made by women in their wetus during the winter season were honored through the dance and displayed proudly. The dance begins with the women holding their blankets wrapped around them with their arms outstretched to honor 4 directions and seasons with the drum beat. The blankets represent the caring and warmth a woman shows for her family and loved ones. The blanket also has many uses in a woman's life and represents a woman's stages in life.
The Eastern Blanket Dance is also used as a courtship dance. The young women would show off their blankets in hopes of attracting a brave. The dance would end with the young woman placing the blanket in front of the brave of her choice, and if he accepts her, he would retrieve the blanket and wrap himself and the young woman in it and dance off to many happy days.
for you.